So, welcome to my thoughts on Gachiakata. I just finished episode 24 of Gachiakata, and I want to talk about my experience watching through this series, what I thought about it. Am I excited for a season two? I really love this premise of a world where there is a sphere in the ground, right? We have this very dystopian society. It's nothing new, right? We have seen in many other forms of media this idea of having this upper echelon of people living in this lower echelon of people. But what I really love is the way the story develops is an even larger divide in class. And we're seeing this through the perspective of a character who doesn't want to be labeled, who just sees everyone as a human and wants everyone to have that level of respect. I really love, there was like this specific phrase that Rudo used.
どいつもこいつも天界だの下界だのゴミだの俗民だの上だの下だのお前らの都合で勝手に分別してんじゃねえ
He is getting to the root of the issue with this entire series, which is everyone is trying to divide each other up. Even with the way the people on the ground talk about the people in the sphere, they don't talk about them in a way, they talk about them as like a whole society, not realizing that even up there they have this distinct separation. And so I really like that this series, as we're seeing it through Rudo's eyes, is this character who is just trying to learn and to see the best parts of someone. And I think that leads me into what I love so much about Rudo and the characters he's surrounded with is people are helping him learn how to act like a person. Growing up, he has been this person who has been rejected through society, who has been, because his father was a quote unquote murderer. I mean, we don't know that, like the truth is murky in this series. So now I'm not even sure if he is really a murderer, but we do know that at least his father gave him the scars on his arms. And so that's why when I look at Rudo as a character, he is trying to find the value in everyday objects, right? We have this really heartbreaking scene.
それに何か感じたのか
こんなちょっと壊れてるだけなのに捨てられるなんてこいつはまだ終わってないのにかわいそうだ
And you have that realization that this is how Rudo felt. He felt like his parents trashed him and that he was worthless. And so for Rudo's character to be the person who wants to put in the most into someone, to give them that confidence, to give an object a purpose. And the fact that his power is that he gives these objects a second chance at life before they disintegrate because their goal was achieved is such a beautiful thing. We even see this with the fight against Bundis, where he even fires at Bundis, realizes that he destroyed his vital weapon, and then doesn't want to do anything else. Because to Rudo, he was like, I don't want to destroy something so precious to you. And I love that we have that back and forth conversation with Bundis of just yes, this is my special thing, and it's why I told you I could fix it. Because sometimes we're very sentimental about the objects that we first get attached to, right? Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Rudo, just a great, fantastic character. Really, really love him. And a character who helps Rudo a lot is Engine. Engine being one of my favorite characters because Engine is such an empathetic character. And I love that we don't really see that in the beginning, but as we start to watch the series more and more, this happy-go-lucky guy, this guy that is bringing so much joy and bringing everyone together, it's because of how much he cares for people, how much he wants to see the potential in someone, whether it be Rio, and we don't know her backstory yet, but she was most likely a hired killer, and because of Engine guiding her to a better path, she no longer will. She tries her best not to kill people. And we have Zonka here, who felt like he was just down in the dumps. He felt like he had nothing more to strive for. And Engine gave him that slight courage of like, you can do this. Like, you can climb yourself out of this well sort of feeling, right? I mean, both figuratively and literally. And I love that even for Rudo, he does that multiple times. There was that horrific moment where Rudo is just pummeling Amo, and it's just horrifying scene where, like, yes, Amo did all these bad things, but she doesn't deserve what Rudo is doing to her. And I like that Engine pulls him aside, goes to like a quiet area, and they just talk. He just like understands why Rudo's frustration. He gets it. But I love that he mentions that, like, I know you're feeling bad right now, but this is going to be the worst you'll feel, right? Like, you can always get better. You can always achieve higher places. And because of Engine, because of the group that Rudo is around, which then leads us to this awesome moment where Rudo denies Typhon, and he's like, I don't want to join your crew. I want to be with the crew here. I'm going to do it their style. I'm not interested in the way you want to take over the sphere, right? The main goal that Rudo wanted to do since being on the ground, the buildup since episode 1, but he says no. And that wouldn't have happened without developing these relationships, without caring for people. The show does such a good job of making us seeing how someone grows. Just because of what you've had in your past doesn't mean that it will follow you forever. I love it when we meet Remlin in Canvas Town, which Canvas Town, absolutely beautiful place. When he meets Remlin for the first time and he sees how someone grieves with death, and he relates that back to Regato. And we see that the way Remlin is grieving death is through celebration. It's through this gift of like, this person meant so much to me. I want to share it with the world. I want to share that joy and that life that they brought to me to everyone. And I love that Rudo listens and he hears that and starts to understand. It's just really, really beautiful. And there's so many different elements of all the different cleaners having their own hardships, right? We saw that with the fight against Amanu, who brought everyone to have this person that they loved and respected to feel like they were real. You know, the biggest person that we saw, who literally is the biggest person, Delamon, who was so distraught because of his wife. Just the storytelling in this is incredible, and the world is so awesome, whether it be the cleaners, the raiders, the Hell's Guard, Spherite, all of these different factions, super, super fascinating. Oh yeah, also I think it was the Marauders or Mercenaries. And what is so cool about the world building is that there is this untold history that we need to learn about. Why did the ground and the sphere separate? That's something that I really am excited to learn more about. I also love that since episode 1, we have had these teases of the Watchmen series, right? Regato holding the book with the Watchmen series icon on it, which I don't believe we actually got to saw until much later, but when this assassin came in and killed Regato, he took the book. The same assassin also went to Amano and was like, hey, I'm gonna give you these boots back. I'll come take your boots back when the time has come. But we don't know the identity of this assassin. But as I was thinking about this, there were 3 suspects that came to mind. First one is this could just very well be Rudo's father, or potentially someone directly connected to the Sherbeck family name. The other is the boss of the cleaners, as he is a very mysterious character. And lastly is Typhon, the raider leader. But Typhon is so honest that I feel like he would not hide the fact that he's already been up there, right? So he is being very honest with us in terms of what his goals are. However, the boss is still a mystery for the cleaners. We do see that he has an eye in the back of his head that does move. His tattoo does move. The boss seems fully aware of a situation. We even see the moment where he even knows that the Hell's Guard is coming. And so he has some kind of crazy ability. We do see him looking at Amano's boots in a very interesting way. So does he have a part of the Watchmen series, or what we did learn at the very last episode is that the main paintsman had 4 friends. One of them was Canis, the Undertaker, but one of the other 4 could also be related to the boss in some way. And so they might have their own series of gear that we just have yet to be introduced to. But going back to the sphere with Rudo and getting the gloves from Regato, I love that the way this is unveiled to us, because Regato, noticing how lifeless Rudo has become due to his pain and trauma, Regato takes the Watchmen series book and returns with the Watchmen series gloves to give to Rudo. But Regato has this dark expression on his face. He seems to know that this wasn't the right solution, but he had to do something. Now, where did he get the gloves? Is it the reason why he was killed? How did Amano's handler get the boots? How did Typhon get the cape? These stuff I'm very curious about. It brings in so many cool and different elements of like constantly having these little pieces of candy throughout the series of you grabbing like, oh my god, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. There was just so much that I loved about this series because of the world building. I would say maybe one of the weakest parts of the series for me was the fighting, and it's nothing to do with the animation, right? The animation quality is incredible. The expressions on characters' faces is so good, but when you have a 9 out of 10 fight with a 10 out of 10 story, it's like, I want to go back to the story. We had a 3-episode fight against Jabber for the first time. We got to understand a little bit about the way Rudo's abilities work, but aside from that, there wasn't much there to chew on. Now, the fight with the Raiders were a little bit more interesting because we did get some of more back and forth, especially with Bundus, Deer, and Bro. That was a really fun conversation. Also, the fact that the whole, it was just so goofy. Watch my reactions if you want to see me cracking up so much about that stuff. It was amazing. Let's talk about favorite characters. So in no particular order, Remlin, love this character. I think the show does such a good job of celebrating art and human creation in a time where generative AI is becoming so commonplace. To have this show be so celebratory about human art is wonderful. The fact that the manga itself has its own graffiti designer, and seeing all the beautiful work of like street art and graffiti all throughout Canvas Town and throughout the series, the Cleaners HQ, it is so beautiful, so incredibly detailed and awesome. So Canvas Town definitely is still one of my favorite episodes. And Remlin being this character who is trying to, you know, through grief is able to bring joy and happiness and to live this life as a spell casting artist. But I also love that because she is a child, she is immature, so she is constantly wanting to just draw gas. And I love that we get that in terms of like Zonka comes back, he is in critical condition, and then we learn that it's because she wanted to draw something funny. It was just a hilarious moment that I really love. It just, everything about this is just fantastic. Another character I really love is Guita. She is just so funny. I love her in her excitement to go and experience new things. I love the fact that she is like so excited for a kaiju battle when she realizes that she's inside a giant trash beast. And I was just like, in the reaction, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, her Kigurumi is her vital instrument. And I love it. I love that she turns into this cute dopey giant lizard. That was awesome. So really, really cool. So she's also another favorite character because I just love how excited she gets. I really love Engine being this cool badass character, who is so empathetic and caring. The fact that he took on this name because he wanted to respect his mentor, because it was meant to bring people together, is such a awesome thing. The value of sacrificing your own name to continue someone else's name is such a incredibly amazing thing to do. And so for him to do that, to bring people together, is like another awesome thing. I also really love, I mean, look, Deer and Bro are great characters, but I think the other character I want to add to like my top 5 is Grease. I think Grease was that first character for Rudo who inspired him to be good, who like gave him the courage and the understanding of how to respect and love people, right? Grease is just this person with such a full heart and such a caring person. You know, the fact that we had that moment where Grease's talisman faded away, and this moment of, you know, distress for Rudo, not realizing, and Grease even mentions this to him as well, that I'm happy that it was in the hands and being used for good. And lastly, Rudo is definitely another favorite character of mine. I mean, most of the characters I like are because of how they affected Rudo. And now that we also learn that he shares the same family name as the original Watchman, it's about to get crazy. I cannot wait to read more. I think the one thing I want to also bring to attention is Amo's story. That was such a horrifying story, but I think the show does such a good job of detailing this in a very serious way. Unfortunately, the animation treats her like a sexual object, which in the story, she's just looking for someone to treat her like a human and to not be used. So it's an odd choice to animate the exact opposite of her intentions in the story, and sadly, some of this does exist in the manga too. But aside from that, I think if I just took it at like critically the way the story was trying to express this, I think they did a good job of helping us understand the issues and the distorted view that Amano has of love. I think that was really sad, but it brought this really incredible moment of Amano and Rudo having this connection, of both of them having this traumatic childhood experience that basically made it more difficult for them to understand people. And I really appreciate that. The story pivots in a way where Rudo is less revenge and more now wanting to find Amano to make sure she's okay. This series is incredible, and I cannot wait to watch more. I do believe that season 2 already got greenlit. Whether they were already animating or not, probably not. So it'll be a couple of years before we see season 2. Most likely, I will probably be picking up the manga for sure. Just getting glimpses of the way the art looks in the manga is so incredible. It is a series I want to share my thoughts and my reactions to Gachiakura is absolutely incredible. I'm very happy that I enjoyed Gachiakura as much as I did. Without further ado, thank you all so much for enjoying, whether you watched my entire reaction series, whether you watched different bits and parts, or you just watched this video. I greatly appreciated. Come back next time for when we'll be going through Bleach. That's kind of crazy. Okay, bye now. Bye.